Hello and welcome to a very rushed and not well organized episode of the Sports Mules, which is really no different than any other episode that I ever do. But it is Super Bowl Sunday. I hope you're all prepared. All of your chicken buffalo dip is ready to go. Or is it buffalo chicken dip? Does it really matter? I don't know. But I hope you are fully stocked and prepared and getting ready to go. So I wanted to go over real quick before the game some of the, do a quick tail of the tape, like the old boxing days, where you would kind of check off, height, weight, reach, all that stuff. Because I love boxing. Unfortunately, there's no more good boxing, so now we have to do all this stuff. But, it is the Super Bowl. It is the, it's the Super Bowl. Everybody else uses this is the Super Bowl of whatever. This is the actual Super Bowl. So let's briefly go over, tail the tape, who has it better, and then we'll do what's really most important, all the prop bets for today. So you can get a heads up and maybe decide beforehand who you should take. I'll just say we didn't get there yet, but before we do, tails never fails. So wake up, Mules Nation. Time to dig in. Hello and welcome to the Sports Mules. I am, as always, your underpaid, underappreciated, and malnourished host, Eric Kiner. So before we get into the prop bets, which is what everybody is really concerned about, right? I don't care about this Super Bowl. I don't think majority of this country cares about this Super Bowl. All they care about is their prop bets, how long the national anthem is going to go, and to see Usher perform at halftime. And if you listen to my last episode, which if you haven't, what the hell are you doing? Go back and listen. I'm not even really interested in that. So we'll start off here with actual matchups and actual talk football here briefly. So the old tail of the tape in boxing, when you went through here and you can kind of measure up people. So we'll go through this real quick. Tail of the tape. So quarterback here between the 49ers and the Chiefs. 49ers are actually the points favorite to win this game. Not by much, but they are the favorites to win this game. So we'll start off here with the quarterbacks. Most important thing, Purdy has been, a tremendous story here. He's literally Mr. Irrelevant. And of those of you who don't know, Mr. Irrelevant is what they call the last person drafted at the draft. They do a big ceremony for it. It gets a little jersey. It says Mr. Irrelevant on it. He was literally Mr. Irrelevant. Last guy drafted, makes it to training camp, gets on the roster, the 53-man roster, stays there, works his way up through injuries and everything else. And, becomes the starter. And kind of the rest is history. What, phenomenal last 2 years for this young man comes out of Iowa State. See, I do actually know some things that are going on. And although he has done a phenomenal job, call him he's just, he's like your manager out there, right? He doesn't really have any great skills. He's just a game manager. Congratulations. That's every quarterback, or that's everybody, you're a game manager. That you're doing your job, right? You don't turn the ball over. You make the right reads. You make the right changes. That's what you're supposed to do. And although he's done a tremendous job, unfortunately for him, he's going up against Patrick Mahomes. And, he's Patrick Mahomes, two-time MVP of the league. He has led his team to the Super Bowl 3 times. This is the 4th time. He's 2-1 in the previous 3. So obviously the matchup there for quarterback has to go to the Chiefs. So advantage Chiefs on that one. Running backs we got here, Christian McCaffrey, and then there's kind of a triple threat that goes for the Chiefs. Even if you take the best of the Chiefs running back here, Christian McCaffrey is just a different dude altogether. I mean, he's just a beast. You can't kind of hold that back, and especially in this scheme, right? He's tremendous speed, makes tremendous cuts. He has great eyes. He's patient when he needs to be. He can explode out, and that's just running back. And then you get, if you add him as a receiver in there, incredible hands. So obviously 49ers advantage on running back. Receivers, this one is a little bit more difficult because I think in this day and age, you have to add the tight ends in there as well. So for the 49ers, you have George Kittle and obviously, Travis Kelce. In case you haven't noticed, spoiler alert, Travis Kelce plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. You might have heard about it on TMZ. But the receivers on both hands are just, it's an incredible matchup. This might be the matchup of the game. But I have to say, I probably have to say the 49ers have the advantage on the receivers. I think the core of the Chiefs have good receivers, but I think the skill level of the 49ers is better overall at not only receiving positions, including the tight end, but especially receivers specifically. Deebo Samuel is just a completely different creature out there, and if he's 100% healthy and they have that going, that's going to be a tough matchup today. So I'm going to say 49ers on for receivers overall. If we just did tight ends, even that one's a tough one. I might lean Travis Kelce, but that's a tough one in there. Offensive line, both of these teams are completely stacked. The Chiefs in the last couple of years, they lost Super Bowl, 55 to Tom Brady. And the big issue kind of that season, but especially in that Super Bowl, was the offensive line and Patrick Mahomes just getting demolished in that game and running for his life. And they spent the last couple years in free agency, and especially in the draft, building that up. And I think they're a slight edge on that one for the Chiefs. When it comes to offensive line, we'll move over to my favorite side of the ball, the defense. Your front seven, we'll say, right? Because you kind of go between a 3-4 and a 4-3, and how they do things for both teams, right? They like to change it up a little bit. So we'll just say our front seven overrides, so our defensive line and our linebackers there. Again, right? I think this matchup is another one where it is. If you picked one, and I'd be very easily convinced of the other side. I would probably give a slight edge to the 49ers because if Nick Bosa and what's his name, Eric, even though it's spelled oddly, Armstead, if those two are on their A game and they are making it very difficult on what I think is a little bit better offensive line of the Chiefs, if they're making their life difficult, it may be a very long day for Patrick Mahomes. Again, I'm going to say slightly to the 49ers on this one. But again, a stiff breeze or, a crisp 20 on my hand could easily have me pick the Chiefs instead. And then the secondary, this one's kind of a toss-up as well. I think the Chiefs, I think the scheme is better for the Chiefs than the 49ers at times. I think the 49ers rely heavily on that front seven to get things done, and it kind of alleviates some of the pressure off the secondary. But the Chiefs, I think secondary players are better equipped to actually go out there and go man-to-man, which they're going to have to do against Kittle and Deebo Samuel. Right, they're going to have to be on it today and be super aggressive, get hands-on, not make things easy for them and their routes. Don't leave them wide open. Don't give them free range to kind of do what they want. So I think the Chiefs' secondary is better than the 49ers' secondary. So I think they have the advantage on there. So if the Chiefs' front seven isn't getting the kind of pressure or movement and stuff that they need, I think they could still be okay because that secondary is a little more equipped to kind of take on some of that burden that they would have to. Special teams, a very important third part of the game that nobody ever remembers about or ever really thinks about until somebody pooches a punt or can't hit a field goal, and everybody's like, these bums, they got nothing else to do all day. All they do is practice kicking. They can't even do this. And yes, you'd be in completely agreement on my end because I know what kickers and punters do for the most of practice, and it amounts to jack and or shit. But this one, it's kind of a push. I'll go push in this one. Coaching. I think Andy Reid, although he still struggles to understand how the hell timeouts work, is better equipped at this than Kyle Shanahan is. Kyle Shanahan still makes some goofy-ass mistakes. Offensive genius, don't get me wrong, but I think that the time that Andy Reid has had in this league kind of gives him a slight advantage. And Steve Spagnuolo, he used to be defense coordinator for the Giants when they, beat the undefeated Patriots. And then the years he's been here, he's a defensive, guru as well. And he's very quick to adapt and change. So I think it's kind of slight push on that one as well. So I'm going to go Chiefs on the coaching staff as, having the push. But, if the 49ers win tonight, I would not be super surprised, but I'm still going to stick with my original pick because, listen, I'm a hypocrite, but I can't look like that much of a hypocrite. So Chiefs for the win tonight. Now let's get into what is really the fun part of this evening, right? Prop bets. This is what we really want. Okay, so we'll start off here. I'm going to say a minute 42, right? You can go over or under. Minute 42 for the singing of the national anthem. So from the time, from the time that starts until the last note is finished, right? Not when they start singing the last word, till that last note is finished, Christina Aguilera holding on to it for 65 minutes. Until that's done and the hands go down, they look up like, look what I've done for singing this song. Until that's happened. So I'm going to go a minute 42 on that prop bet. And then we have our, the coin toss, heads or tails. What do you got? I always say tails never fails. And then who's going to win the coin toss? Chiefs are the 49ers. Chiefs are technically the home team, so the 49ers get to pick, so there's some info for you. So you can pick the coin toss. I don't know what the 49ers are going to pick, so I can't tell you on that one. Color, here we go. Color of the Gatorade for the bath at for the winner. Purple is in the lead right now. Followed closely by blue, and then we have yellow, green, red, pink, orange, clear, which is just water. That's just boring. And then 2001, no Gatorade bath at all. Blue is great. Blue is the only one that on here is well, other than orange, but that's unfair. Blue is the only color on here that's actually the flavor as well. I know it actually has a color or it has a name, the flavor, but it's blue. What's your favorite Gatorade? Blue. First team to call a timeout. That's another good one here. First team to attempt a coaching challenge. That's somewhat interesting. Final score, who gives a shit? Opening kickoff results. So you can either touchback, returned to, you can pick a yard line, or you can just have, return, for a kickoff, which leads into our next one. Opening kickoff return for a touchdown. There's only been one ever. And he's going into the Hall of Fame this year. So you have that one. First play from scrimmage results in a first down. Will the first play result in a first down? That's actually a good one. I kind of like that one. Interesting. I think it depends who's getting it. But I'm going to say no, but I do like that one. I guess a better one would be, before you even get to this one, what is the first play of the game? Run or pass? That's not on here. Thanks for that one. Who will have the most receiving yards? Wow, they both went with 49ers on this one. Well, fuck you, Chiefs. Fumbles lost in the first half. Who will have more? And then followed by, why isn't this the first one? The first one should be, will there be a fumble loss? And then it should be, by who? Good God. Christian McCaffrey have any TDs in this game? I would say yes. Nick Bosa scored a sack. That's probably yes. Travis Kelce, more than 11 receptions. I'm going to go with no on that one. But will Brock Purdy throw an interception? Will Patrick Mahomes throw an interception? Those are good ones. Number of times camera is panned to Taylor Swift. And I will say this. I heard somebody say this the other day. And I was like, wow, I agree with it. So I kind of talked about in the last episode about cutting Taylor Swift some slack, right? Whatever you think of her and her music. I mean, what is she doing? Going to a football game to see her boyfriend? Like, come on. But in the years past, how much shit have we heard about Patrick Mahomes' wife and idiot brother? How much of a nuisance have they been the last couple of years? How many times have we heard about them this year? Thanks, Taylor. I think we owe her a little bit of gratitude for keeping those two jackasses off of our minds this whole season. So thank you, Taylor. Will there be a touchdown from the 1 yard line? I'm going to be difficult and say no. Will Christian McCaffrey's longest rush be more than 18 yards? I'm going to say yes. And that's just some of the prop bets. Let's see if we can find any other good ones here real quick. Ooh, a PDF sheet. We know how long I love PDF sheet. Let's see what we've got in here. How many players will attempt a pass? Under 2.5 or over 2.5? Okay. Interesting because, right, you can, do some trickery in a receiver or running back or a tight end. You could do a double pass. So I kind of like that one. That might be a good one. I'll go over. I'll say yeah. Over 2.5. Let's see. Anything else good on here? Oh, MVP, of course. You got Purdy, Mahomes, or other. I'm going to go with other. I feel like this Super Bowl is one of those other nights. Somebody else is going to step up. And then we have over-under on points, 47. Will there be more or less than 47 points scored tonight? I'm going to go over. Ooh, this might be the best one of them all. I'll leave everybody with this one here. Will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift after the game? God, I hope not. And I hope not for him, too. Don't do it there. That's idiotic. Don't do it there. Do it in private. Have a romantic night. Don't be a dope. Have a romantic night. Propose to her. Enjoy it. And then there's a bunch of other stuff about the number 13 because it's Taylor Swift's number. And if you take 5 and 8 and put them together, it's 13 and all this other ridiculous ass horse shit. But yeah, there's a lot of those predictions right there. God, I hope he doesn't. Wow, what is this number? Boy, they really do think he's going to propose tonight. Don't do it, Travis. Don't do it. I mean, don't do it in general. Just don't get married, but that's a whole other podcast. But yeah, those are some of the prop bets for tonight. So it is closely getting time for the game to start. I'm going to get this episode out so 3 people can listen to it. And, wherever you're going, be safe, enjoy yourself, behave yourself. If you're hosting, stay calm. You invited these people to your house, so blame yourself. And if you're going to somebody's house, be a good guest. Don't be a jerk. Don't make a mess. Don't rile up the neighbors. Don't drink all the booze. Be nice. Be courteous. Help clean up. And if you drink too much, just get a freaking Uber. And take tomorrow off. Enjoy it. But it's the Super Bowl. It's here. Let's get this game over with in the season. And let Travis and Taylor go to the Bahamas and he can propose there. But yeah, that's it. So thanks for listening. Enjoy the game. Have fun. Dig in. Go Mules.